This right here is the reason why I love sport. This is why I love rugby league, sport in general. That gives you history, it gives you emotion, it gives you time. That you get to watch things like this with your best friends, with your fathers, with your mums, with your family, with people that you love. You get to see moments in history, storylines get written in front of you. It was absolutely incredible. The Penrith Panthers get the three-peat, 26-24 over the Brisbane Broncos. And nothing to discredit the Broncos. They were absolutely incredible in this game, leading 24-8 at one point. They were absolutely blowing the Panthers out in a perfect time of football. But there is one man that has just written history for himself right here today. As one man that's now going to go into history books for one of the greatest of all time because he's had his moment. We've been saying it all for how long? Everyone's been saying it. He hasn't had this one big moment in his career where he's just taken over something like a massive on the big stage. State of Origin's always the one that gets brought up, and 100% that probably still will get brought up with Nathan Cleary. But man, if you're holding on to this guy is not great. Man, I don't know what to say for you guys because that guy is an absolute phenom. Like what he did in that game, 50 minutes into that game, Jerome Luai goes off with a shoulder injury, the shoulder injury that he's had problems with in the past. Tony Staggs running rampant over the top of him in this game, just running at him as much. And Luai didn't really falter in this game at all, but shoulders started to give way, and they were down 24-8 with Ezra Mam running just amazing tries and try after him. And then Reece Walsh just finding moments. Payne Haas was absolutely incredible. Paddy Carrigan, Jesse Arthurs. Just this Broncos team is absolutely incredible. And to get 24-8 ahead, and this man flicks a switch, the 40-20 from Cleary. We're talking about try assists. We're talking about scoring tries in his own. Like, he was not the only man on that field, but he was the one. He was the reason. He was the man of the moment. That was absolutely incredible. Honestly, there's not many big moments I've seen. Like it happens all the time in sport and all that sort of stuff. But that was just like, it's so hard to put words together of what that was. That was just a man that stood above everyone else that he's been saying for ages that he's not the greatest of all time or he's not going to get there. This is one of those moments. This is Joey back in the day. This is like Darren Lockyer in moments for the Brizzy Broncos or even a State of Origin for Origin. We're getting the Maroons home with that last ditch try and that. This is one of those massive moments. This is like, oh man, words can't describe. Like, as I said before, start of this game, I thought that the Broncos were holding in really well. I thought they were just, errors were just killing them. They were killing themselves with this game because the Panthers scoring first didn't really come off anything conventional at all. It came off a short dropout from Adam Reynolds that got batted back, and Mitch Kenny cleaned up the scraps and that to get that one over. And fuck, man, I can't talk. Like, emotionally, this is absolutely incredible. I just watched that game with my dad, who's a massive Broncos fan. I feel for him because, fuck, his heart was racing. He went through all emotions right next to me. And those are the moments I love. Like, I got to have that moment with my dad, even though they lost. But it was just, he legit looked at me after this and just said, Nathan Cleary, like, he was absolutely incredible. He hasn't seen too many moments like that. And he's been around for a while. And then, like, for me, oh man, that is a moment in history. I cannot buy that back. But anyway, as I was saying, then Billy Walters, I thought Billy Walters was absolutely outstanding. Jesse Arthurs had a couple of massive line breaks in this one. I thought that Panthers right side was getting eaten apart in defense at times. And, the Broncos were, 8-0 down at one point due to the penalty off the short dropout. Short dropouts are really killing them in this game. And the amount of times I heard later on in the game, they need to go for a short dropout. And my dad was just going, no more short dropouts, but they needed to. And oh man, like it was just so mental. Then you had Reece, there was moments in this game where I was like, Reece's not really getting his moments yet. And he had those moments a little bit later on in this game. Ezra Mam turned into something freakish into this final series. 3 tries, just running a rampant. He was absolutely amazing in this game. Unfortunately, not able to get the Clive Churchill in this one. Obviously going to Nathan Cleary as I watch it right now, the whole ceremony and all that. But if the Broncos won that game, Ezra Mam for me would have been Clive Churchill. If not, Payne Haas was absolutely incredible. Every time I saw Payne Haas touch the ball, I just went, man, that guy is a freak of nature. And I feel for the Broncos here. Obviously, the big run to get to the grand final, but their next step is to win something like this. And they got a team to do it, especially for what they did to the Panthers team in, those moments of the game. Like we've been saying, game plan against the Panthers is so hard to say, but just the moments of having Fisher Harris and Leota off the field, those are the moments you got to strike. And the Broncos hit that perfectly. You know, 10 minutes before halftime, just before halftime, Flegler going over to score a try. Just after halftime, Leota and Fisher Harris were both off the field at that point, and they ran in try after try after try. But then Cleary just flicked the switch, and it really coincided with those moments where Leota came back on the field. Leota came back on the field really early in this one. Then Fisher Harris came back on the field, and they started to turn momentum, and things were just clicking in the gear. You had Crichton have massive moments. Crichton was absolutely incredible in this game. Bro, just the moments Nathan Cleary. When he hit that 40-20, gave me chills. I honestly was like, this man is just, he's hit a whole new level. And as I said before, like, I've seen moments in sport. I've seen multiple moments of like big teams that I've watched over the years and that, but that was like unbelievable. That was something out of a storybook. And the Prince of Penrith, fuck, man, like that he's going to go down in history. And, we've been saying it for ages. He's going to go down in history. Everyone's been saying it. We've all been saying it. But, obviously, the people out there that really want just that extra little thing, just like, but he has to dominate something, and that he did that here. Like, that was, I have no words. Like, Paddy Carrigan was incredible in this game. Fuck, man, like, what can I say? Like, man, Leota was absolutely incredible. Like, I thought Fisher Harris, he was strong as well, all that sort of stuff. Fisher Harris was obviously targeting Adam Reynolds very early on in this game. Adam Reynolds made, I think, up to about close to 30 tackles in this game. They really targeted him on that edge as much as they can. But Leota had the moments in this game. Every time Leota touched the ball, ran the ball, he ran it with like steam. Like, he was just absolutely just steaming onto the ball, and he's scoring that try. And oh man, and it all came down to Nathan Cleary setting up that try. So comment down below your thoughts on this game. Fuck, man, like, what can I say? Like, just absolutely, like, I got no words. We have just seen history, and the Panthers are a three-peat. They're a dynasty now. They were, for me, a dynasty before, a team that goes, into multiple final series. They've been dominant for so long, but now they etch their names into finals history of three-peat, something that hasn't been done since the Parramatta Eels back in the day. Man, like, just, fuck, man, like, what can I say? This team is absolutely incredible. You got to respect what they do. As a Warriors fan, I would have loved to see my team in this grand final and that. But when you're going up against two teams like this today, like, those two teams were just on a different level. That grand final was incredible. Like, it had everything. That had absolutely everything. That was incredible. Defense was there, but then attack was there. There was points that came late. There was just on the edge, man. Like, yeah, both these teams deserve all the credit in the world. That is the reason why they're 1-2. I hope everyone gives the credit to the Broncos in this one as well. I know they got chased down by the Panthers, but that is honestly, they're probably one of the greatest teams of all time, if not the greatest team of all time they got chased down by. And, the Brisbane Broncos were dominant for a big chunk of that game. And even early on in that first half, I honestly thought defensively they were holding in. They were just killing themselves. And at the end of it, the storyline may be for the Broncos. They did kill themselves in this game because they won this game multiple times and just let it slip at the end. But the effort they had in there, they were so close. But I just see the Brisbane Broncos coming back next year and being just as strong. I see the Penrith Panthers, even though losing other players, there's nothing that's going to say that they're going to slow down anytime soon, especially, with all the pieces that come in. I thought Jack Cogger was absolutely amazing too. He shored up, when Luai went off. He really straightened the attack very, very, very well. He caused, Cleary ended up becoming more of a 6 in moments there, running out of the back of play, being a second receiver instead of first receiver. And just, it was, oh man, like, what can I say? That was absolutely incredible. Comment down below your thoughts overall. And if you haven't checked out my channel, please make sure you go check out. I make videos on pretty much all rugby league and all that sort of stuff whenever I get time. And man, I love to have this history. As I said, I sat down with my dad to watch that, and I'll have that moment, even though the Broncos lost, and he's pretty down about that. But I had that moment with my dad, and that means more to me than anything. And, this is why I love sport. No matter what anyone's going to say, everyone's going to dissect this game. It's the way social media is these days. But emotions is the reason why sport is. Like, storylines is the reason why sport is what it is. And, sometimes things get taken out of the way, but things like this happen, and that's why I love it. So comment down below your thoughts again. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate all your support on my channel and that. And man, up the wires. Hopefully next year we can make this grand final. International sport, we'll talk about international rugby league a little bit later on in the channel. I'll probably have a couple of weeks where I'll talk about, what's going on in the season and that. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Peace out.